Hey guys, Xana here. So I wanted to just kind of do a little fun video, honestly. But before I go, it's been very interesting. I've been sort of reading some of the comments on the video I posted about where I get my morals from or whatever the other day. I'd never posted a video specifically about religion at all, so I didn't really know what to expect. You know, I don't have really, I've never been not being an atheist YouTuber, I don't really have this expectation of having this audience that I know is going to agree with me, like this echo chamber of atheists awaiting me in the future. When I upload this video, they shall respond positively. You know, I don't really have that. I didn't really know where any of my subscribers, or at least the subscribers to my Legend of Zon channel, stand religiously. So it was kind of interesting. I got a pretty diverse group. I mean, there were some atheists there who agreed with me. There were some people who identified as Lutheran. There were some who were like, there were some Roman Catholics. I think one person said they were Muslim. So interesting, a lot of diversity there. So it was kind of cool. I mean, again, uploading it was kind of an experiment for me. I didn't really know what to expect, so it's been kind of neat reading it. And you know, overwhelmingly, the tone of the comments has been very civil. So thank you, people who responded politely. It's actually been it's been interesting reading it, getting different perspectives and whatever. So I guess to treat the people, I guess this video in a sense is kind of a little treat to the people who did react so positively and who did respond very civilly. Because what I'm gonna do is how do I like transition into this? I guess I'll say this. You know, when I uploaded the video, I left a little joke post that basically read, "Bringing up religion on the internet. I've opened up Pandoras Box, haven't I?" And, you know, I got a couple thumbs up because, you know, yeah, I mean, religion is a very divisive topic, you know. So I felt the Pandora's Box metaphor was appropriate. But apparently, yes, Pandora's Box did open, and what came out of it was this lovely man called let me see if I can find him here in the comments section. Here he is. A YouTuber named Coherent Apologist, which is kind of an overly compensatory kind of nickname, you know? That's like naming yourself, like, Big Dicked Jim, you know? Like, is it really that big, dude? Like, if you have to name yourself, I am coherent. It's funny, too, because it's, like, in all capital letters, so you know this guy's legit. So, this guy, Coherent Apologist, who I'm convinced is a Poe. And for those who aren't familiar with what the term Poe is basically a person who pretends to be a religious fundamentalist, basically for the sole purpose of trolling. And it's just, some of his responses are so fucking ridiculous, and I'm gonna read some of these because I just found it funny. So, you know, basically, you know, very much like it's hard. I can't tell if this guy's being serious or not, but either way, his responses are priceless. Now, this guy, what struck me most about his comments is I expected, like, basically, one of the first comments he left was, "The question should have been, where my moral comes from. The answer is simple. From God." So already it seems he kind of missed the point of what I was saying. I guess I'll get into his next comment, which is, first of all, by the way, yes, it is said exactly like that. Where my moral comes from, question mark. You know, like, it's actually written like that. So there's a lot of bad grammar in this. The next, he follows up with a question that's like, "Oh no, you just the domino effect." By the way, effect is spelled with an A. A-F-F-E-C-T, like the verb to affect something. So we're already off to a great start with this one. "Your parents influenced your moral. Who influenced your parents' morals? If you keep going back, you will end up with God." Well, who influenced my parents' morals? Pretty much their source of morality is very similar to the examples I gave for myself. They were influenced by their parents, the society into which they were born, the laws of that society, so on and so forth, all of their external experiences. The whole point of the video was that, you know, a person's values, specifically in terms of moral values, but you could argue pretty much any belief or idea that a person has is never the result of a single source. There's always multiple factors that play into why we feel the way we do about things and why we have certain worldviews that we possess. So already it kind of seems like the guy either missed the point of my video or, yes, he's very much trolling. So I was already kind of suspicious of this guy, but he left a really bizarrely large amount of comments too, and that's where I got really fascinated. So out of curiosity, like, he basically was responding to almost everybody who left a comment on my video. So out of curiosity, I went to his YouTube channel, And here's what I found. Here's in the About section. So apparently this guy's name is Heleno Henzo. And it says, Heleno Henzo is a Bavarian-American Bible apologist with unambiguous, plain-spoken apologetic. He's the author, by the way, I'm not mispronouncing any of this. This is exactly as this is written. Like, it's really, again, the grammar is horrible. He's the author of Apologetic Anointed. He's the author of many philosophical quotes, such as, people defending people instead of morality is a fatal mistake. He's very critical of people's opinions in relation to science. He never considers words of astrophysics as facts. He's hugely critical of theories, calling theories lazy people's opinions. He thinks this life was meant to be a test created by God to get rid of creation who uses their free will to avoid morality. He's very critical of homosexuality, the theory of evolution, atheism. He calls them the signs of human intelligence on decline. That's a very funny, ironic sentence. The signs of human intelligence on decline. You're definitely one to talk, dude. I'm just gonna, you know what? I'm gonna give you the benefit of the doubt and assume that English is not your first language. He's the founder of the theory of homosexuality. He says homosexuality is a self-enlivened, influenced, accepted practice, promoted, played, supported, and habituated immoral lifestyle. That's a lot of fucking, a lot of things to preface immoral lifestyle with. He's also very critical of space exploration programs, calling it curiosity-driven waste of money. Alright, so very interesting guy we got already. So let me go back to my video, and I'm gonna try to dig up some more quotes by this guy. Those first two comments by him weren't the gold. The gold here is in, oh, let's see. This is some good stuff. Here's another one. But basically most of his comments got marked as spam. And I can see why, but I have to read some of these because where's a good one? Okay, so there was a comment by CodaSmith1 who basically agreed with the premise of my video. This was by an atheist themselves who pretty much agreed with, I guess, the points I made, and they were just kind of like, thank you for, you know, thank you, basically appreciated. I guess they agreed with what I had to say, and they were appreciative of what I had to say. And they're pretty much saying, just because someone is an atheist doesn't mean they don't have any morals, and they thank me about my video. So here's Coherent Apologist response. But I just want to make it, this isn't like a serious refutation of this guy or anything. I'm just having fun with this. But so here's his comment to this atheist who agrees with me. You are now atheist and used to be Christian? Tell me if this verse is not the mirror of your life. Does a colon. Luke 8:14. The seed that fell among thorns stands for those who hear, but as they go on their way, they are choked by life's worries, riches, and pleasures, and they do not mature. If this verse is the mirror of your life. By the way, when I said E, it's just the letter E, and then if this verse is the mirror of your life. I think he was trying to say, see if this verse was the mirror of your life. Kind of redundant for him to say that, since he already said, tell me if this verse is not the mirror of your life. But, you know, whatever. I guess he's using repetition for dramatic flair. Of course, if you are an atheist, you are a bad person. Everyone has morals, because we are all created by God. What religion does, it shows the consequence of ignoring those morals, which by being an atheist, a person cannot be trusted because he believes in no consequences of his action. His single action, just one action? Not all of them? God is very select. And then he goes on to say, Stalin, Mao were a good example. Yeah, and Hitler was Roman Catholic. You know, I can play this stupid fucking game too, man. But, you know, I wouldn't use that as a legitimate argument because I understand that Hitler is not the spokesperson for all Roman Catholics. Give me a fucking break. Claim to be atheist is like claim to be a criminal. So, some serious comedic gold in here. One thing I found really interesting about this comment is that this guy basically says, I guess the quote he uses from Luke basically, you know, he accuses atheists of lacking maturity, but then he goes on to say that an atheist cannot be trusted because he believes in no consequence of his action. So basically, you're of the mindset that you only do good, or you only do, the reason that you do what you consider to be good or bad is because you're concerned exclusively about whether or not you're going to be punished by an authoritative figure. Like, the fact that do you not possess an awareness about the people around you? Do you not possess an awareness that other people around you possess consciousness and can also experience pain and suffering in very much the same way you can? Do you just have no sense of that at all? So the only way you can keep yourself from, like, hurting other people is to think that there's, like, a magical sky daddy watching you to punish you if you do bad? Because if that really is how you think, you have the morality of a fucking toddler, so dude, you are one to fucking talk about a lack of maturity. Alright, dude, if that's seriously, if the only reason you think things are right or wrong is based on whether or not you get punished as a result of those actions, that's a very immature view of morality, and you're kind of a fucking asshole. Again, I know I'm not your very narrow, specific view of God, so, my opinion doesn't have much value to you, but, I think you're an asshole. And I think many other people would agree with me in saying you're an asshole. Let me find another one. What's another golden one? Okay. There was a person who identified as, basically they said that they're Pentecostal, creationist, and they asked me a question about the Big Bang Theory, essentially, and I responded, very honestly. I basically, responded with, I don't really have much of an opinion about the Big Bang Theory, since the Big Bang Theory is, I'm not really educated in the field of cosmology, so I'm not really equipped to talk on the subject. I kind of said, I'm going to leave that to the experts. And I feel like that was a pretty honest answer. Cosmology is not my area of study. I'm studying to be a psychology major, so I don't know a whole lot about, any of that. So I don't think it would be silly of me to think on the subject. So here's the Coherent Apologist's response to my answer. Here's some more comedy gold. Here we go. Big Bang is not explanation, but nonsense. From explosion nothing good comes. If you are, and you are as in the letter U and the letter R, so top-notch grammar from this motherfucker. If you are production of random mutation, there is no moral or ways to know what moral is. Alright, so now you're talking about, like, the theory of evolution and how certain mutations get... Okay. Well, first of all, the theory of evolution as a scientific theory has absolutely nothing to do with what's morally right or wrong. I see this a lot where people bring up, like, natural selection is bad because it preaches survival of the fittest. It doesn't really... Natural selection simply describes a process that occurs in nature. It's not making a value judgment. It basically says that those who are well-equipped to survive in a particular environment, they're able to procreate, their genes get passed on to the next generations, whereas those who aren't well-equipped to survive don't pass their genes on, thus they get weeded out of the gene pool. And it doesn't really make a value judgment about that. It's not making a statement about whether this is the way things should or shouldn't be. It's simply describing what happens. So I always find it silly when people try to say that, the theory of evolution is immoral. It doesn't concern itself with morality. That's not the purpose of the theory. It's simply describing a means through which accounts for the diversity of life. I mean, I'm sure you don't agree with the theory of evolution. I'm 100% sure that actually, in fact, I'm willing to believe you probably think all science is some evil conspiracy to keep God out of America or some shit, but just in trying to conflate morality with evolution is just kind of silly. Morality is not influenced, but it is in you. When you do bad, it bothers you. Yes, it bothers me because I have an awareness of the people around me. I have the ability to empathize with my fellow human beings, not because I'm worried about whether or not I'm going to be punished by a higher authority. That doesn't exactly play a role, and as we already established, you seem to think that has to be the case in dictating whether something is right or wrong. Anyways, you have to be educated to know Big Bang, abiogenesis, evolution are nonsense? Again, he uses the letter R. Oh wait, there's like an ellipses before R nonsense, so he says it like, you have to be educated to know Big Bang, abiogenesis, evolution are nonsense? Well, yes, dude, it helps to have at least a basic education about the things you're refuting. It kind of helps to at least understand on a very basic level the scientific theories that you're claiming to refute, Because if you don't understand the theories you're trying to refute, then you're basically arguing with a fucking straw man. You're arguing against a position that doesn't actually fucking exist. So yeah, it kind of does help to be a little educated. Although I do like how you admitted that you know absolutely nothing about the subjects you're talking about. So thank you for being so fucking honest. Explosion produces disorder. Nothing is not something. A mindless matter does not produce info. No one is equipped to talk about past unless they lived it. Were you there? Bill Nye? Were you there? Dude, I mean, I guess I could go into detail about how eyewitness testimony is a very unreliable source. People have very selective memories, so even if you had somebody be there to witness the creation of the world, that wouldn't be very useful. You know, it's not... just being there to witness something is not always, you know, I'm trying to think of how I talk. I mean, maybe it's not worth it for me to put that much thought into this, but... because again, as I said, I'm pretty convinced this guy is a total fucking troll, you know, because some of this, what this guy's saying is so fucking ridiculous. Like, he has to know that this is ridiculous, and I know he's trying to get a rise out of me. So I don't know how much thought I should put into talking about this, but I don't know, refuting this is kind of fun, just because it's, you know, there's a very interesting test. And I guess I'll talk about this at least. You know, there's a very interesting test. People tend to have very selective memories. They only tend to remember things that, you know, they only remember certain details about certain events. And so oftentimes when you're investigating, you know, when you're talking to different eyewitnesses, they'll describe the exact same event very differently because they're all focusing on different things. A good test that has been done about this sort of thing, it's kind of funny. It's the gorilla test. And if anybody doesn't know what that is, it's basically a test where they show you a video of people, about 7-8 people, basically passing a ball around for about like a minute or so. So basically the people showing you the video, you watch the video, and they ask you, while you watch the video, try to count every single time that the ball gets passed from person to person. And, you know, so they show you the video to its completion, and then after the video's over, they ask you, so how many people saw the gorilla? And what they mean by this is they'll show you the video again and say, this time, try to keep an eye out for a gorilla. And in the middle of the video, about maybe 15 seconds in, a guy in a gorilla suit walks in from the right side of the screen. He stands in the middle of the group. He's not hiding. He's not, you know, trying to like be on him. No, he walks directly into the group of people passing the ball around, stands right in the middle, looks towards the camera, like dances around, beats his chest, and then he just kind of walks away, you know? You know, though there's a... And it's really funny because the majority of people who watch this video do not see the gorilla the first time. And everyone's reaction is always like, how the fuck did I not see that? It's just, it's not even hiding. It's like, because you were focused on a very specific, you know, you were focused on a very specific thing in the video, and that was the people passing the ball around that you totally missed. The guy in the fucking gorilla suit, you know, again, the whole point of the thing is like human recollection of events is very, very, there's a lot of inconsistency. People remember similar events in different ways because they're focused on different things. There's a reason that in courts of law, we don't rely exclusively on eyewitness testimony. That's why we also have things like DNA evidence. That's why we have to provide evidence beyond external evidence, beyond just what people's word, you know, just what anyone says about an event. Like, that happened. We don't just accept that. We try to verify to see if that person is correct using other evidence. So being there to witness an event doesn't really, that's kind of useless information. Anyways, I think I put way too much time and thought into refuting that. As I'm, again, probably more thought than is necessary since this guy is clearly just trying to, you know, get a rise out of me, but, you know, but whatever. I'm going to keep moving on. He goes on to say, basically, no one is equipped to talk about the universe because they are human too. Powerless for that. Plus, the universe has supernatural touch. Using natural method to understand it is useless. No one is equipped to talk, no one is equipped to talk about the universe except for fucking you. I mean, do you have, like, no sense of fucking self-awareness whatsoever? Like, do you not realize that, I mean, you're fucking talking about the universe, you're making declarations about the purpose for our existence and the reason why why does the universe exist? Here's how it came into being, and here's the being that created it, and here's what you need to do to please them. I mean, you're making all these claims about the universe, but right, you're preaching truth. You're correct because you're you, and you've been given all the true answers by your God, and everybody else is just a deluded, hellbound idiot. I'm sure. Another person who identified as a Lutheran kind of sort of agreed with what I had to say. Basically saying I'm a Lutheran but not a creationist, and basically said that they don't think morals are necessary in order to have are not necessary in order to basically, be a decent human being. So kind of agreed with what I was saying. And this person replied to this guy saying, "You are Lutheran and not creationist? In other words, you are a deceived and an heretic." And yes, he did type "an heretic." "Everyone has morals because we are all created by God. What religion does, it shows the consequence of ignoring..." Oh, he's just repeating himself from the other thing. His response to the atheist guy. Okay, so I'm even more convinced this guy's a troll now, because now he's, like, copying and pasting, like, his fucking responses. He says the exact same thing. He even ends the quote with, he's responding to a Lutheran, and he even ends the comment saying, "Claim to be atheist is like claim to already be a criminal." He's not even responding to an atheist, and that's how he ends it. This motherfucker is just copying. This is so fucking funny. I hope you guys are entertained by this, because I'm very entertained. Oh boy. I'm trying to see if there's any more gems in here. I think I already went over the funniest ones. We all have morally from God. We all have morally from God. Just take in that sentence for a second. Isn't... Ah, jeez. Some choose to ignore it, like murderers, thieves, homos. And then there's like an ellipses for some reason. You claim to be Catholic, but you don't know what happened after... Happened after what? Happened after what, dude? You just gonna leave me fucking hanging? Oh my god, the suspense is killing me. No, dude, your comments are giving me endless joy and hilarity. And you're fucking just... You can't leave me with a fucking cliffhanger, dude. Come on. There's gotta be more stuff here. Let's see his response to the atheist. There's another thing where he says, "Don't try to escape." As in, I'm assuming he means like I'm trying to escape from like punishment of God or whatever. Like I guess he's of the mindset like one of those people who's like, all atheists secretly believe in God and they're just being atheists to avoid consequence for their sins. Like, dude, if I actually believed in God and I wanted to get away with sins, I wouldn't be an atheist. I'd be a fucking Christian. I mean, what? It's like I do some sinning, but then I just admit that I'm a sinner and like be like, I believe in you, Jesus, and then I'm fucking forgiven, right? I mean, faith in Christ gets me into heaven. I mean, I can do all manner of shit. So I don't know if I actually believed in God. Why the fuck would I be an atheist? Let's see. What is... Oh, here's... Okay, here's... I think this might be the last comment I read, but it is a funny one. Somebody basically said that they're an atheist too. And Coherent Apologist replies, "What is your emotional reason for claiming to be atheist?" As if basically everybody who's an atheist has an emotional reason for it. There's no way that somebody could rationally come to the conclusion that there isn't a God. Totally impossible. I guess it's basically the contention of that shitty propaganda movie, the Christian propaganda movie, God's Not Dead, where like there is no real atheist. You all secretly believe in God. You're just mad at him, you know. Again, arguing with... This guy seems to like arguing with straw men. What is your emotional reason for claiming to be an atheist? People who become atheists. That's all capitalized. And then he goes back to lowercase again. People who become atheists start reading the Bible with arrogant mentality. They think they have right to tell God what to do. They read the Bible, expecting to find only things they like or fit the lifestyle they choose. Excuse me. oh man, I think God was attacking me for blasphemy just to, oh man, thought I was gonna die there for a sec. God guides your life, not you guiding it. They read the Bible to find the God of their choice. I mean, to be fair, I think that's what most Christians do, honestly. I think you're one of the few people who follows the Bible as literally as you do, although then again, as I mentioned before, I'm not totally convinced that you actually believe the shit you're saying, but I digress. They read the Bible to find the God of their choice, not the God that we have. He can be whatever. Some people are so arrogant that they think they can impose condition to God. This life was meant to be a qualification test. Yes, a qualification test that's different for each person, depending on your geographical location and the circumstances into which you were born. Very fair test. God wants to get rid of arrogant. He wants to get rid of arrogant. I guess you meant arrogance. I'm sorry, your grammar... you know what, I got it. You're so passionate, but so fucking grammatically incorrect. It's fucking funny. God wants to get rid of arrogant. There are many things in the Bible with purpose to test people's arrogance. If people would be so arrogant to tell God what to do, like he cannot kill. And then an ellipses. After disappointment with Satan, God decided to create again, but far away. Before allowing creation to be in heaven, we must go through the test of arrogance. And he spells through THRU. And yes, God's test is a test of arrogance, which is strange. You claim to be a supporter of this God that tests for arrogance, yet you also claim to be able to refute scientific theories that you admit to knowing little to nothing about. Yeah, fuck it, atheists are the arrogant ones. The only thing that the person in this comment said was, I'm an atheist too. They didn't make any other statement. This guy goes on this fucking just paragraphs of poorly spelled and poorly written just thing about, God testing for arrogance. So I think that was the last gem. I think the rest of it's just pretty standard theist, pretty standard bad Christian fundamentalist arguments. I just wanted to share that with you guys. I hope you found this entertaining. Again, I want to thank the people who responded civilly to the video. It was really interesting kind of reading some people's comments and hearing some people's, just seeing some of the people's thoughts about it. Hopefully you get a little bit of entertainment about this. Also, I'm well aware that because I know I'm feeding a troll here, but I'm too amused. I know that this guy's gonna spam the fuck out of the comment section to this video. I'm totally aware of that. But I'm just I'm almost curious though to see what kind of gems he has in response to what I'm saying right now. So I mean, you guys are welcome to fuck with him if you want to. This is some funny stuff. Anyways, I don't think I'm probably gonna make I don't know if I'm gonna make any more videos about religion. It has been interesting doing this, but I might make a video in the future if a random idea pops into my head. But I think I'm gonna make another vlog video in a few days though, and I'm gonna talk about the convention I went to, KenTokyoCon, and I guess share with you guys some of the stuff I got there. So I'll probably be uploading that in a little bit. But anyways, that's it for this video. It's almost 30 minutes long. I'm sorry if you're bored, but I don't know. I just found this guy's comments amusing. So, anyways, make of it what you will. Hopefully you were entertained. I guess, take care, guys.